a radio, I believe it was, and then some news articles about her story.
And you will, of course, make sure that you focus on, ultimately, you will focus on the period during which the indictment relates, which is from 2013 onwards.
Well, Your Honour, there will be a focus on that, but there will need to be adduced evidence of certain events and facts that took place before that, so that the court can have some context. Ms. Ndima Lamo, can you tell the court where you were born and when you were born?
Nimalamula kira kawada kaduke wale dijik sumrochi. I was born in Tibet, Kham, on 1990.
And where do you now reside?
Kira tanda kawashuguyo. Currently, I'm staying in America, New York.
All right. Now, you've previously given testimony before the Congressional Executive Commission on China on the eve of the 2008 Olympics. Do you agree with that?
Kirangi nyama nidong gigi Olympic sitting that David Kirangi kijakashi sheyurwa.
No, yeah.
Yes.
And you have already previously been interviewed by Tibet Watch in October 2016.
Ni kiranga nyama nidong chuchu jinda chuwe nang la Tibet Watch ki kiranga tinde Tibet nang yurachati. Yes, it is.
You were also interviewed for a podcast with Tibet Unlocked in 2023.
Kirang tanda pyugi pyuge nanglo la tanda podcast tanda nanglo la kirangi kija sheyurwa. Yes.
And there have also been numerous articles about your story, about your uncle, Tenzin Delek Rinpoche, and the circumstances that led you to leave Tibet. These are published online. Do you agree with that?
Ani tanda chado to la kirangi pyune ma tsule tang kirangi ashang tuku Tenzin Delek Rinpoche da jewe ani yiki mangbuchi yo di kirangi shiki yo.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. I want to start by talking about your uncle. Who was your uncle, Tenzin Delek Rinpoche?
Ta thangbo ansu kirangi ashangi thoni ma botsugi ro kirangi ashang Tenzin Delek Rinpoche di sure ashang sure Tenzin Delek Rinpoche is my uncle, brother of my mom.
And how was it that your uncle rose to prominence as a holy person or spiritual leader within Tibet?
Ani kong tanda chigi kuti do pyola dos kandes kolang yunjin chewade yunjin chedangdi.
지금 그 마치 뭐 대한민국이나 자와서래 대내주는 그걸 지금 그자 지지자는 그자가 이렇게 자가 최계산을 이것을 장르는 지금 남은 것이래.
At the age of 7, he became monk. And on 1982, he went to India. At that time, His Holiness the Dalai Lama recognized him as a reincarnated Lama.
All right. When did he return to Tibet?
Kung pyola pa khadu lore.
지금 그때 잘하는 거라.
1987.
And how was this status recognized?
Pyola pa lo sani ani kongi kande do jore. Pyola.
그런 pap이 사회제가 남한 주들의 야를 연하나 장르를 굉장히 가지고 생각보다 주요를 옆에 봤을 때가 그런 관계에 딱 그거에서는 하상만하게 취재하거나 연락줘야 땅이 가는 주요가 이거는 너무나 차리는 거라니 너무 그 관련되는 진짜지요. 훈체제나 무소제의 차이.
After study for 5 years in India, once he came back to Tibet, people recognized his good deeds, like establishing the monastery, solving the day-to-day life problem of the people, and from that onwards, people recognized him and started to devote to him.
Now, you said in your previous statements that your uncle Rinpoche was a person of interest to the Chinese authorities. How was he treated by the Chinese authorities?
Kirangi nye la geje shegyo jinang lo la, kirangi ashang tanda gyana shungi kunzu gi nang che samiji cha de la doa. Di tonang che kunzu gyana gi kanjes tonang che yo le kula.
但如果前呢到学校卡了的，可以送就卡了的，日常卡了的，到后把人家当卡了就是个年嘛，那个到几多还有就觉得如果所以的，后把我们个退休的，到别嘛是个那个卡里送白人家送几多人有的，那当时唱的讲的让人的没得名气，而且差有的，真是得了对呢。
Since Tenzin Gyaltsen Rinpoche became a spiritual leader who also concerned about the environment preservation as well as the culture of Tibetan and the situation in Tibet, and he started to have Tibetan people in Tibet. So because of that, Chinese government didn't like him, and then they started to observe his day-to-day life activities.
How was he observed or monitored by the authorities?
Kunzugi kola Kandis tum digido Kandis Kunzugi kola dichigido. Kanatedang.
这时候呢，人不清，这时候呢，人不清，就是那个在国里那里，去了就送半年呢，讲不人清的，那么开心的，搞了什么事干，那么开心，讲不人清的，北京出事人清，各把哈呀当，那么我们这说呀当，那这一个了，一个就是了，大概就是这样当。 人不清的公法，真的是我三年看了，这个公法这边呢，因为就是让出去让这都出马来的，几多个啥，三年前把这个公法了，这样人不清也马屁的，确实那个呢，你然后托人都出马来，这个每次能过去，肯定能搞到解决的。
So when Rinpoche engaged in the dharmic activities as well as like giving teaching to the public and like establishing monastery in different places as well as like going so when Rinpoche go to some different places regarding the ritual activities and the Chinese government didn't allow him to do it allowed to do it and they hindrance and always don't let him do it freely.
Could I ask?
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. I'm just a little bit confused. The question was, how did the authorities surveil him or watch him? I'm not clear, since she was 12 years old when her uncle went to prison, whether she's reporting what she knows from her own experience and observations, or whether these are things that she was told. And I'm not being critical in either direction, but I'd like to know whether this is her firsthand account or whether this is what she was told as a child had occurred.
You clear that up, will you?
Yes, I will, Your Honour. Was there an answer that needed to be translated first?
That's all. Should I answer?
Okay. Ms. Nimalamo, how did you know that your uncle was being monitored by the Chinese authorities and that the Chinese authorities did not permit him to do his various activities?
Gyana shungi kirangi ashang la tende rawa mebe thone kabdom che di kirangi kandis hago song.
这里呢，就全部都是啦，我是确实那个是的，我妈就是确实看到了啊。是说的没当时的，我妈不在听，如果今天那个看小人里面呢，就人家帮忙我去了。 근데 가만히 보고 다양한 단위 체에서는 기회가 되니까 그렇습니다. 근데 나도 동의 정말 빠야 뭔가 열다 나는 빠져서 가요 하지만 내는 것도 그냥 빠져서 열.
I personally witnessed that when the Rinpoche was giving teaching on the stage, in between the teaching, the people from the Chinese authorities, they come and hindrance in between. And then my parents and the people generally talk like, oh, today it also happened, like they didn't allow us to do practice and do this teaching. And there are lots of pictures as well for this according this context as well. But currently I don't have these pictures, so I witnessed it personally and I also heard a lot.
All right. The memory that you have about your uncle teaching on stage when the authorities came, how old were you when that occurred?
공기 송주 나오의 값수 기랑 로 가지고 있는 값수.
一起嘛，我给几个人停止的，跟着几个车的，
네.
两几个停止，跟着几车的。
I can't say exactly, but most probably 7 or 8.
Now, in your previous statements, you said that your family experienced many problems when you were growing up because of your connection to your uncle. What were some of the problems that were faced by your family?
기랑 살롱 주의 값수 기랑 아샹다 기랑 되어 유의 긴기 기랑 수 낭미라 강에 망부 중요 기랑 기송송 디조 강에 가리가리 채송
当然是农业差不多呢，人们去讲那是农业开始人这个时候呢，刚生产的，他有好多的，那农业阿妈就做起来的，阿妈就农业呢，都是大众农业嘛，阿妈大家那，他们我们许多的那个人外地上都有个是吧，农业干净的那个城呢，群众的阿妈的，那就看或者是上个，阿妈这个上的人真不要当，啊。 这个也是自然嘛，是这个自己都是先进的，但是现在的，但我是讲那个就是年纪的人那这个，是吧？刚才你那个看了，跟你讲的大的天都是了，有大外地，这个都是了，都生的，那么样，大概那就是把心上做的那些，真正做的那些，这个并不是成的。
After the detain of the Rinpoche, we don't know where he is, and because of that, my mother goes to the authorities again and again to the Kangze in order to know where Rinpoche and know regarding the Rinpoche's situation. So when the mother goes there, since the mother is the head of our family, when she is not there, we always worry where she is, when she will be back, and not only that, additionally, we also have a problem regarding the expenses to traveling to Kangze and coming back. So we have this sort of lots of problems.
In your previous statements, you said that your uncle was charged by the Chinese government with the crimes of causing explosions and inciting separation of the state. What can you tell the court?
What? I didn't follow.
Inciting separation of state. Separatism, Your Honour. Are you able to tell the court about the circumstances leading to these charges?
기랑기 가정이 마게 제시의 값수 기랑기 아샹라 단다 밤 바르지 토르와 다가나 신기 페민 낭주 nga데 낭로라 투구둘라니 진송 치와 기랑기 송수 아니 기랑기 디 칸제미 디 콜라직 송나티르베
Your Honor, it would save me from standing up more frequently if we could know before she starts answering whether she's answering from her own observation or whether at 12 years old she was told how those charges came about.
Carry on.
Yes, so if she could answer the question I asked, and I will clarify further
Thank you.
how she came to know about that.
Thank you.
So sorry, the question was, what were the circumstances leading to the charges against your uncle being laid? And further, how do you know about that?
기랑기 아샹 진송 체외 값수 낙수 거리 내당 간제인 바다 기랑기 딘소 간제 Sorry, please tell me again. I didn't hear properly because of network issue.
You've previously given statements about your uncle being charged with causing explosions and inciting separation of the state. How did you know about those charges?
가정이마 기랑기 슈에 치와이나 기랑 아샹 단다 바르지 다 다가나 신기 응아데 낭로 아니 인지 이와 지기도라니 인지 지기도라니 아상 진송 치와 콜라 키랑기 송송 디 키랑기 간데스 하고서
이 일본이 다 자나서 누구 진짜로 이거구나. 자나 중에 그 조가지 아까 카니 지와 에 나미 나 그디 지그레 진센처리나 근데 나라고 방다를 붙이려 해.
when my uncle was detained on 2002, so this is just an excuse given by the government of China. But they didn't have any proof. They just told to the family. That's all.
All right. So are you saying that the charges themselves were just an excuse by the government, and that they did not happen?
kirangi sungai chewaina thanda di nyezuk di shungi sewa madoni dingune maim ba chilam yinsin chigi yuwe
Je la metela 가르치는 건지 제일하나 너무 모르기 나는 조사비가 그렇지 나니 오늘 이나 그렇지 플러스 그렇게는 그러면 지금들은 너무 무지하다 그래도 다 조사비가 가르쳐 밑에다 때문에 아니 지금 너무 모르게 그렇지 이번에 그런 바도 되게 하고있나 그렇지 내가 하려면 너무 잘해서 이것을 견뎌야 뭐 그게 좋아 시기네 근데 사이드 뉴트리스 지리가 사이드가 너무 뭐지 좀더 이중나 제가 너무 뭐지가 소리 친구가 그렇지 주로 시험을 제일 가지고 시험을 이제 주마 근데 이제 뭔가 있니 자나진 게 같이 가르치는 거지만 차이 좀 생겨래 이거 되잖아 지금 방다 시가 된지를 와 pom치 된지를 레이셔이
This is because in 2013, when the Rinpoche was detained by the Chinese government, so the public or the general people of the Tibet, they asked for the reason why he was detained, and they said that we want to hear from the Rinpoche himself whether he did it or not. But they deny, and they also signed a petition for more than the 40,000 people. And asked for the request to give their proper reason, but China denied it. And according with these statements and these circumstances, I believe that this doesn't happen actually.
All right. Now,
그 다이들었어. 요조상 인자다.
Lo chok sum ring la?
요조상 뭐냐 뭐 그까지 저와지 전체 쪽에 그렇지 방다를 해주는
Yes, I want to correct that. It is for 13 years that people have been struggling to clarify or clear the allegations made by the Chinese to the Rinpoche. They struggled for 13 years.
all right. Do you know what happened after he was charged with these offences?
Kola nakzuk je sawe je la khari chawale kirangi hagu guyuwe. Which year?
So you said that he was detained in 2002. How long was he detained for?
Ko nidong ni lo la jinsung chebalwa. Ko tyuen khazubado jinsung chebale nidong ni ne.
고마 이분이 이제 세상도 이분 상로라 이분이 지디고서라 빨리 이제 소소가 하는 있는데 근데 이분이 이분 상로가 딱 그렇지 이제 자주적으로 그랬는데 근데 다 그렇지 이분 제한으로 받아 그 정도 주게 또 상이나
Rinpoche was detained on 2002 and they changed the statement and make a sentence for the life in. So he was detained till 2015, which means like for the 13 years he was in prison.
During those 13 years, did you ever get to visit your uncle in prison?
Lo joksum di lingala kira asang toga dwe kugab chungswe.
이게 그거 뭔가 제일 더시는 생각 그거 제일 많았어 그들 않았어
I tried a lot, but I didn't get any chance to meet him.
All right. Now, In your previous statements, you said that your uncle had died in custody. How did you learn about your uncle's death?
kirangi khasang ma shewe kapsu kirang ashang kunzo gi da chongga namlo la thongwa kirangi sungsu kirangi khande sa go song di ko chongga na la thong imba
对嘛，那说了也都是对的，也都是在那个痛的，那么热的，也当从对精神上面还都是。
When I was in Tibet, I heard and I also went there. So based on these circumstances, I know that he was died in prison.
All right. You spoke about a journey that you and your mother took to see him just before he died. Can you tell the court about the efforts that you took to see him with your mother?
Kong manjungye la kirang amada kong wachin doa. Digapso kirangi kanje chi di ko la tisumlo chi.
如果请你跟讲了那个老板等等你在大陆地啊，俺们的安尼给他不做说人听的嘞，今天讲那么多听今天他们就把他们听的呀嘞，今天考虑这个东西的东西呢嘞，今天还是想我们他的你们不去，马出呢，可是我们知道的，讲到他这个是别人所以，今天是没有这样子的。
On 2015 July 1st, we were informed my mom and aunt went to July 2nd. On 2015 July 2nd, my mom and I went to meet the Rinpoche in prison, and they didn't let us.
Sorry.
Konda.
讲那个你俺们的俺那个联通的那个2000你都讲了的话你但是你那个联通的那个一切都那接的那个人嘛，他们这个接的那个。
Okay.
Can I just interrupt to say this? Ms. Nemo Lamo, I understand that you do speak some English. I want to let you know that if you feel comfortable to answer in the English language, please do. We have an interpreter here for you for your use and to assist if you should need it. But if you are able to explain in English and you feel comfortable to do so, please do.
Okay. So 2015 July 2nd, right? My mom and aunt went to meet my uncle, and I went later, and they detained for. They didn't let them meet for 10 days.
Now, did they eventually get to meet your uncle?
Tamadela ni kirangi ajang tuwe rayo le kunzo.
No.
Rayo mare, or not at all.
What were they told when they were making attempts to meet your uncle? What were they told by the authorities?
Kunzo kya ajang tuwa tuwe kapsa kunzo ki kari labri yore.
我从俺们的安那个咱那里大的那个这边人生中的以前嘛正常的了，以前嘛大家都是对什么就在那里大的听的要不听的，你嘛听的讲的，还是他们这里看不懂的这种心态。
They said that this is a good month to visit, so you should come. But once they reached, they didn't let us meet for 10 days. And after that, they immediately said that Rinpoche was died.
All right. Did they explain how he had died or the circumstances around his death?
Kunzogi Rinpoche khandes chongin badani chongdangi ko la nizu ke lasmai.
如果是你那才呢，看看。
Disease and died because of blood issues.
Now, did you eventually reach the prison where he was in custody?
Kiran tamadela ani Rinpoche jinsun chese chonggan dinala le rasmai.
他当代人啊，也是不清洁，就做的是脏话也喊不过，也那不起他们的各种一个说，成都大都了是比三十多年的，而且各种这些事情，他别人的，如果是那些的，俺们还不没，
I'm not sure whether where I seen Rinpoche's dead body for the last time, which was on the Tandu Tadu, but I'm not sure whether this is a place where they detained the Rinpoche.
All right. Did you get any information about his death, or were you able to see his body?
Rinpoche khande chong me ko la kirangi nezu den de hago soen da nan shingi kirangi kongi phungbo thong soen.
나 롱치에 그분지 이것으나 롱치에 세치 나나인 바람 근데 롱치에 셔도 나나인 바람 근데 때문에 저기 나오는 상황이 그때는 좀스라게 진행되는데 이것도 롱치에 그분치에 무슨 가져가나 롱치에 우드레자 우드바리 손도 근데 세모 자신 참아 나고래 근데 때문에 merging by the Soviet, they need to observe the condition they do. Some ways, we did in the line of which is imaginary, close the Johnson Averaging Center.
Yes, yes, I got opportunity to see his dead body for the last time, and what I have noticed is his face was black as well as lips and toenails, and the footnails were black as well. That's why we believe that Rinpoche was poisoned. And when I keep his head, and we feel that his head was like a hollow. So along with me, people also believe that Rinpoche was killed by poison.
What did you do upon seeing this?
Kirangi di tongdu khariche bayin.
rinpoche 그분지 이것으나 마음이다 마음이 하는 예사리 다 정보 가야는 다 샤이를 나는 정보 뭐인지 그것을 예상을 그것으나 마음이 가지고 체크해서 지도 안 되시지 그나시 사이에 작가가 카바크스 지로 그주는 말에 그분 예상을 말이나 나는 그것을 다 이미 rinpoche 가르치는 rinpoche 토당 부디요에 그거다 이제 주는 말에 이거들 기술이야 내고 같은다 마음에서 가로 along the road 이제 좀 계제시야다 다 지자야 좀 찍어요 말 그냥 막 그분은 보라 산주 해나지도 남자친이 어디서 보니 때문에 제가 그런 지혜가 많이 믿고서 이게 축하드리네 이게 뭐시가다 소송 비하해서 시행.
Okay, so Rinpoche's body when I went to see his dead body, it was like there are like more than 1,000 Chinese soldiers, and where we are not allowed to take our phone, and they check our body. And when I see that, so we are not allowed to do much near the body. So what I have done is like I take 3 circumambulate to the body, as well as I pray, and then I make the promise. Then once I back, I told my relatives and the people that what happened and how it was.
Right. And what happened after you told people about what you had seen?
Kirangi thongwa di kirangi robot zola jini lawe kapso karichungre.
아니 일찍 돌아서 가시지.
Can I say some statement in English?
Yes. Yes, please.
I told some of my cousin and their relatives what I saw and what happens during the time. That I do all the information, like when I saw Rinpoche's dead body, I saw the Rinpoche lips, and the situations there, and how many soldiers and how many priests, what they told us. And when we visited Rinpoche's dead body, they didn't allow us even take a scarf of like Tibetan tradition color and forms all piece. And there's also 3 of that. And that's
Who it was that you told about his death?
of course, there's like lots of people in my hometown who are asking me what is the situation, what happens right now. And also I have a cousin in India who is called Kishinuma. Last year he was and I shared all this information to him.
How did you share the information with your cousin in India?
I told him the situations, what is the situations during the time, and what I saw with his body, and how his face and how his mouth is totally trained black, because in my whole life, I didn't see that body. I think at the first it will be like normal body, but I heard the Rinpoche's, who watched Rinpoche's body before, they told us, his nail and his mouth are black. So that means that people thinks he used, the Chinese government gave him.
On WeChat. Okay. Now, did it become known to the authorities that you had shared this information with your cousin?
Kirangi di Nizudinzo or Kirangi cousin him to share Ashang Pingang him to share Kunzuki Gani Mahabuyo.
I'm not sure.
Right. Did you make any requests to the authorities at the prison after you saw your uncle's body?
Last year.
Ashangi Pungbo Savagini Kirangi Tanda Tongan Yugingi Mangmidan Dinzola Kirangi or she was in the team.
Sorry, can you repeat that? My phone is like the connection is a little problem.
Kirangi Tanda Diora Pungbo di Tong Savagela Zongan Nangi Mangmidan Gobian Dinzola Kirangi Rigu Dan she was in the team.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
What were the requests that you made to the authorities?
Kirangi Shubuk Dan Rewa Karishuain.
We did some requests because they asked what requests your family have, and according to the Dante tradition, we want to keep Rinpoche's dead body for 10 days, and according to Chinese law, I think they have 10 days to keep Rinpoche's body before family, so he's in prison. Don't I think? Sorry. For me, it's comfortable to say into that.
Yes, please proceed as you feel comfortable.
Before I see Rinpoche's dead body, the Chinese government asked me, what requests do you have?
So, yeah.
My family made 5 requests regarding the Rinpoche's body. The first one is like, we asked them that if Rinpoche was not poisoned, then we want to check the Rinpoche's dead body from both the Tibetan medical and as well as the international medical, and investigate the reason why Rinpoche and how he was died. And then the second request was, we asked them to keep the Rinpoche's body at least for 10 days, where in the Tibetan Buddhism, they believe like once they stay in samadhi for a long time, but they didn't accept this. And Sunda.
여와상가 그 정도ችን 그분 나오는 티제서 바이나 뭐만 그러는 나오는 다른 예술의 장이라 다 주로 나네스 여와 아마가 되다 정도ችን 저 그분들이 마트가이나 다 장이에 다 투주가 세르도 보고요.
The third request was, with accordance with their own Chinese policies and the constitution, one can keep the dead body at least for 10 days. So please do according to that. And the fourth one is return of the body. We agreed that if the body of the Rinpoche return to their family, then we won't make any trouble. We won't bother anymore. And the fifth one is returning of the ashes of the Rinpoches. And then if they refuse to do so, then we will consider it as a poison.
And what was their response to your 5 requests?
Kunzogi dila lien khari kya wale.
我从罗马国的什么方面只是话比较适合的，就是年纪了，这个不同的年纪的人啥方面，这个这个的这个他们去是当地，我那刚去这是方面那说是不是的。
Can you please give me 1 minute? I need to go to washroom.
Yes, I think, Your Honours, may the witness have a little break.
Witness wants a small break.
Right, okay.
Did she stated that in response was they said that we will consider about it, but after 2 hours the body was cremated and they didn't follow what they have accepted.
All right. I'm going to stand up and move around. Friend in the middle.
See anybody drifting off to sleep? You see me drift off to sleep.
No. It's really dangerous.
One right here. Must be there.
Your Honour, whilst the witness is away, I'm going to refer to a document that is on the case file. I've asked the registry to place this on the screen, but there is some difficulty because there are 2 computers being used at the same time. So I'll just let the court know that the document I'm going to refer to is at NFE 2, Section A, page 80.
In which one?
Did you say 1-8 or 8?
NFE 2, Section A, page 80.
1-8.
1-8 or 8-0?
80.
80, okay.
What's the document?
The document, Your Honour, shows a photo. The document itself is the 2016 Tibet Watch interview, a report that was done after Tibet Watch did an interview.
Sorry, there's
with
too
him.
much noise. The document is what? I heard too much
It's
noise.
called Tibet Watch.
Oh, all
The
right.
document itself is an interview with the witness, a report made by Tibet Watch about their
Okay.
interview with her. But specifically, the page that I want to turn her attention to is a page that shows her mother holding a document with some writing on it and a thumbprint on it.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, is it what on it?
Thumbprint.
Oh, there's just something on it. Oh, a thumbprint. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Who, do you know whose thumbprint it is? Oh, okay. All right, you'll get to it. Okay, that's fine.
All right, Ms. Nima Lamo, can you hear us?
이말라말라 고드웨.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Now, I want to turn to the Tibet Watch report that was done after an interview with you. You've seen that document before, haven't you?
더 아주 단다 티베트 워치까지 기랑기 시교주라. 디단 TV 기자디 시기 기랑기 디 이정인 통용 요에. Yes, I do.
Yes. Now, at page 6 of that report, this is NFE 2, Part 3, Section A, page 80, there is a photo which you've given evidence about or given a statement about previously. It's a photo of your mother holding a piece of paper with some writing on it and her thumbprint. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes. Can you explain to the court what this photo depicts?
This picture is the one what we request, and we write down the request, and we took the single point, and we did this on the persons
To the authorities, to the related authorities.
Okay.
Could you just repeat for me what the witness said, what the document depicts? I didn't follow.
The documents are regarding the 5 requests which were made by their families, and they have written down everything, the 5 requests, and then they give a thumbprint, and they gave it to the related authorities.
All right. Now, who took this photo?
Pardi gang, digaji pardi gang sure, parji gato.
It's me.
You took the photo. Was anything done with respect to this photo in terms of its distribution or sharing it with others?
Di shimbalmyamdo chameda shimbala tange tangwa tang dewe ni kinala nizu dindi chung yorwe.
I just take a picture. I send my uncle Kishimala. That's the all I did, I think.
All right. Now, sorry, just a minute. Was any of the requests that you made actually responded to?
Kirangi shuwatewa shuwanga jitedwa shuwanga dida nga kangrung la kunzugi len jor sumai.
After 2 hours, we submitted the request, and they denied all the requests, and they said from the authorities' orders, and then they mastered burned Rinpoche's body in the morning 7 o'clock, and they denied all the requests up to 2 hours.
All right. Now, you said that you shared the photo with your uncle. Is this the same uncle in India that you spoke about earlier?
Yes.
And what happened as a result of you sharing the photo with your uncle?
Ashang le kirangi di tang ne ani khari chungre. Di
I'm
tang.
not sure. I don't have any idea.
All right. Well, in your previous accounts, you said that yourself and your mother became arrested by the authorities. Is that correct?
Kirangi dingi la kiranda kina ama jinsung chiwa kolla sheso dingun tembarewe.
Yes.
Can you tell the court how it was that you came to be arrested with your mother?
Kira ama da kiran jinsung khande chiwa de ti kolla shiruchi.
We are arrested in the morning and in July 16 in the morning, and they told police come us, and they said the authorities from the regime ordered to arrest us, and they took all our phone from us. And before that, I said to my uncle that the Chinese police is the phone because they can hear. I told my uncle because I wanted to. Before the police arrest us, I told police I need to go bathroom. Then I shared this information to my uncle who's outside the room. And then we arrested, and then the police keep us in like secret place and it shows all my phone and they didn't say what, when, how long and everything. They didn't share any information why they arrested us.
All right. Did you later come to know why you were arrested?
Kirang Kharijin Zinzun Chiwa Kirang Jene Hago Sume.
Yes, they said the plan is we sharing the information outside the world. If we do, it's fine. If you are not doing what everybody consider you did it, your family did it. So that's why we go to do life sentence in the prison.
What happened after your arrest? Were you detained?
We are detained 18 days.
And where were you detained?
At first, we detained in Yangon for, I think, half a week, 1 week and a half, and then they bring us to the Rikang. It's saying half with like 7 days or something.
All right. And what happened to you and to your mother during that period of detention, during those 18 days?
We are very sad, and we don't know what's Rinpoche's action or body reaction or not. We didn't get any information. Even we asked them, they didn't answer any questions. And they keep us like they didn't allow us to go any place, and they didn't allow us to connected to anyone, even my family. And even we go to bathroom, police comes to check, and 24 hours keep us. And we are very angry, and we didn't eat. And during the time, my mother got very sick, and sometimes, she had disease, and then the police need to bring the doctor often, and sometimes she need to bring with us like oxygen,
Yes, oxygen.
yeah, oxygen because she had disease, and also during the time before Rinpoche, during the time when Rinpoche was killed by the government, we are protesting outside of the jail in Batu, and she's how to say,
She hit her hat on the wall.
and also she's like lying on this ground, and she said, "There's no way to talk. What problem for us?" And we are protesting. We're asking to January to come report us. There's no fear for us. And we did lots of protest because that whole his body has
Bruce.
Bruce, yes. And maybe because of that, and otherwise, would be like very sick because he's good healthy.
All right. Were you and your mother released after you were detained during those 18 days?
Yes.
What happened for you and your mother to be released?
Before, during we are in the arrested, the police become vice president, and they came and told us you have to sign something document. And my mother answered, according to the Rinpoche case, qualified Rinpoche case, I couldn't sign this. Because the Rinpoche is not only my brother, but he is also a spiritual leader, and he is the somebody who cares not only this country, but all over the world. So his case must be qualified in the future. Even not me, there will be somebody. So I can't sign about his case. Even you point a gun on the line. So I can't do this. And they say,
All right, can I just stop you there?
I will tell the vice president, I will tell the president, he said that he back, and after 2 days, they came, And the vice president said, I stand for inside of your family, and now we're going to release you and your daughter. But once you go outside, you can talk about Rinpoche's stations outside the world. The second thing is you can request any case about Rinpoche to the government. And the third is you can share any information during what happens during when you see Rinpoche body and the information what you saw during when she died. This too you can do up to release. If you do in your family, and your rest of your family will be in prison forever.
Okay. I just want to take you back. If I may just take you back, please, to the document that you said the police asked you and your mother to sign. What were the terms of that document? This is the document that your mother refused to sign, all right? So what was in that document?
The document says the three things we can allow or we can do is, one is when after release, can share any information outside the world. The second is we can share like every situation, every things what we say what we saw during the which he died to our neighbor or like anybody. And third thing is we can request any more about Rinpoche's case again to the government.
Okay. So if your mother refused to sign that document, then how was it that you and your mother were ultimately released? If you feel comfortable, answer this in your native language, just as you feel comfortable.
kira kesi dikira ama gisa sendakyo mewaina ani kira kandes tuin tuwale dingem du kira kesi dilin pyoge na thewaina pyoge na sumbuchi
第一次大的从北京把人怎么接了我们这个行动。
This was signed by the religious officer on behalf of us.
Okay. Now, after you were released, was there continuous surveillance and monitoring of you by the Chinese authorities?
kira luju tang sawe ji ni kena shungi yang kira khari khari chigi me din zo tak ship chi de din to chungswe kira gi jela.
Yes, before or after the release, the person brought the policeman and told us this is the man who keep watching you, and right now after you release this person, the person wherever you go, without permission we didn't allow you to go even from Vietnam to Hindu.
All right. And can you describe your living conditions after you were released? Did you go back to your village?
Kira
Yes. The main thing I'm very sad when I release, people are afraid to talk with us. I feel very sad during the time. And also the CC cameras outside of my door. And I feel like we are house arrest. And even I go to without permission, it's really hard to get around, even in Tibet.
All right. Why was it difficult for you to get around within Tibet?
For example, I want to go to buy some stuff and then come back to sell in my hometown. But without permission, it's really hard to do all those things. Even I want to do just like small business, I'm afraid to do this, And another thing is, with the neighborhood, and even we talk with them, they are afraid to go to talk, to share everything, because the government told them, don't talk. So I feel like very sadly, I feel, the experience that I have.
All right. And you also said that people were avoiding to talk to you. Why were they avoiding talking to you?
Because the government 처다서입니다. 타카 모부지 전체 등즈 농업을 요청하려면 처다 제외 주기는 처다 제외 이게 방에 모든 사람 이게 큰 안절이 그런 인상은 시에들
Because the government propagate and regarding based on the 7 forbidden activities through the media as well as the spreading pamphlets. That's why people are afraid of this thing.
All right. Now, you've made a reference to the 7 forbidden activities. Your Honours, for the record, this is part of the same document, the Tibet Watch interview, and appears at NFE 2, Section A, at page 86. Ms. Nima Lamo, have you seen this document before?
Yes.
Where did you see the document?
When I released one of my neighbor keep it the document and he said these are like the policeman and come here to ask to send or to give us to read it. And I keep it one for future like evidence. I was like shocked. That's really useful.
Now, in the Tibet Watch 2016 report, there is a photo in Appendix 1, which is titled The 7 Forbidden Activities. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Kerangi tanda di judge nanglo la kakdom di kor la parchi dua di kerangi tanda hagu yue parti nge khari kor la shigi wa.
Yes, I just said before that.
Yes. I'm just saying that to you because I can't show you this image, so you know what I'm talking about. Now, you said that you took a photo. Is this the photo of the document called The 7 Forbidden Activities that you referred to?
Tanda kerangi par gay la jura on di parti dagara kakdom dirang lewe.
Yes.
Now, what were these 7 forbidden activities as written into this document?
But tell me the Rubuchikola, that thing is like that. Rubuchikola, the Chulabu, Children, Zobucho, monkey. Never the Rubuchi, the June, habitually, their own policy, which were some of the Rubuchi, the Chulu, the Rubuchi, those the Kolayam, the Johnson, the Bingo, the Hita Mature. Yiga Rubuchi, the Soba and Jerry, is a conversation. Mother Rubuchi Kola, that researching, what they are changing among the photos of the Rubuchola. To what they are finally. 저 공성계에 있는 들려야 풍마는 데 기야 좀 좋을 양가들다 다 루치기 중들 때문에 저 뭐들이야 당 야 상례 에서
7 forbiddings are like the first one is no work or unit or individual can join funeral rites or hold any memorial ceremony unless it is approved by the county government. And the second one is a form of collectiveness and the present petitions or to apply for audiences with the higher authorities. And it is third one is to forbidden to release and circulate any information regarding the Rinpoche. And the fourth one is forbidden organized plan and to instigate the masses together in assemblies. And the fifth one is to forbidden organized Buddhist activities for Rinpoche to raise funds for him. And the sixth one is to forbidden to make trade or give others or worship Rinpoche's picture and as well as audio visual products. And the last one is not allowed or forbidden to disrupt normal festivals and production in the name of the remembering of the death of Rinpoche.
All right. Now, at page 12, it says here, And I'm going to read it to you. You can tell me if this is your understanding of the text. Communicate about 7 forbidden activities in relation to Aung Sazi's case. What's the reference to Aung Sazi?
Ang Zazi di khari dinal Ang Zazi lan pheju chidwa.
刚刚在是的这个阿基的冲力的距离构成的拉玛马因果。
Is Aung Tashi, and Aung Tashi is the name of Rinpoche before he noviced and became a monk.
All right. Now, the notice in the Tibet Watch report says, to the workers and nomads of the entire vast county, on the 26th of January 2003, Aung Sazi was charged by Sichuan High Court for exploding a bomb and attempting to split national unity, and was sentenced to death. His death sentence was suspended for 2 years and commuted into life imprisonment with deprivation of political rights. This criminal died of illness on the 12th of July 2015 at 4 p.m. Is that your understanding of what that notice says? Okay, and just for the record, the witness is nodding. It goes on to say, according to the relevant laws and regulations, Aung Sazi is not a religious figure or teacher, and he is not a living Buddha recognized by the government. Is that your understanding of what the notice says?
Yes.
And further, in order to avoid illegal gatherings of people initiated as a consequence of Aung Sazi's death, disturbing the public social order, the county government is issuing the following communique, and then follows the 7 forbidden activities that has just been translated. Is that your understanding of what the notice says?
Yes.
Now, how widely was this notice circulated?
Kepda shukshi jung kagam stoyo re di.
근데 벌써 학을 되게 벌써 벌써에 내방들의 학을 대가를 가지고 자자는데 내세를 말이나 그 너무 너무한지 딱 그러고 이제 라와다 칼렉션 마시죠 되지나 저는 지금 말하는 것이 지역의情况거리情况라 지시주로나 내가 와는 거죠. 그분이 나한테 받아요. 너무 뭐지 좀 문제예요.
I'm not sure like how widely is spread out of Tibet, because at that time it's not easy to gather information regarding the outsiders. But in Tibet, it's because of the Tibetan request to appeal for the higher authorities regarding the death of Rinpoche. So so many Tibetan engaged into this activity, and that's why I guess it was widely spread outside of Tibet as well.
All right. Now, if somebody did any of these 7 activities that were forbidden, what would happen to them?
Kesi mi kangrungi ora dinanglo lagavdom duin dida gewai na ani kharchi le midala. They will detain that person.
Do you know what level of authority this document came from?
Ije de kawan le ore kiran shige. It came from the central government, because most of the activities are command from the central government.
Okay. Do you how do you know that it came from the central government?
Whatever they say, they always say that we came from the center. It is commanded from the center. That's why I know that it came from the central government of China.
When you say the central government, do you mean that it came from Beijing?
Central government la thanda kapsu kirangi Beijing la lagi hue. Yes.
All right. Now, are you aware of how the government represented to the general community about how your uncle died?
Kira Asha Yana Shungi Kandiji Lamunzi Chigyo, the Kira Hagu.
Can you repeat that, please?
What did the Chinese government say publicly about how your uncle died?
Kira Ashang Kandi Chong Yume, Yana Shungi Mimala Kadilagi Yuba, Kirangi Shiki Yube.
Jana Jungu Ajin Karibu Nasa, I Yushiba, Melazan, Johnson, Tama, Nasa, Johnson. That's how much they which go give the Mendu the Petro, which is a Lama, Jana Jungu Kama is very catchy on the village and Sharon.
As I told earlier that they publicly said that Rinpoche died because of heart and the blood disease, and they are not allowed to protest regarding the death of Rinpoche, and not allowed to do anything, any activities regarding to that.
All right. Now, in the
And
Tibet,
also-
yes, please.
Yes, and they said they didn't recognize Rinpoche as a Lama by the government, and also he's like the person who are separate person.
Separate the state.
Yeah, can you do that?
Now, there's a China Daily Report article that appears in the Tibet Watch report on page 13. This is NFE 2, section A, page 87. Have you seen that document?
Yes.
And I'm just going to read from a passage of it, and I'll be asking you whether this is what you had seen circulating. If Tenzin Delek Rinpoche had really believed in Tibetan Buddhism, he would not have incited assisting Lobsang Dondab to stage 5 bombings in Sichuan province between 2000 and 2003, which killed 1 person and injured 11 others. Is this, do you recall reading this?
Kiran Dillo or Tingidwe. And the Moi Logyo. And the Moi Logyo, the Kiran Tingidwe. Kandi Ime. Yes, I do remember.
It goes on to say, and if Tenzin Delek had really acted as a living Buddha, as the Dalai Lama recognized him in 1986, he would have had many opportunities to develop social, medical, educational, and religious institutions for Tibetan people, as well as to protect the environment. Instead, he instigated several separatist movements in China after he was recognized as a living Buddha and walked that road until the last day of his free life. Do you remember reading that?
Yes.
Then it says, it is a pity that none of these ifs existed before the afternoon of July 12, when he died of sudden cardiac death at 65 as a prisoner for life. It's ashamed that he had used, and the clique behind him is still using, all these ifs as facts to criticize the Chinese government's unfair treatment of the religious leader, in quotation, while simply turning a blind eye to the irrefutable evidence that put him on the wrong side against the people and history. Do you remember reading that?
Yes.
And then it goes on. He was sentenced to death, suspended for 2 years for the 2 crimes on January 23 and 2003 in Sichuan, with a penalty commuted to life
I'm
imprisonment.
sorry to interrupt, but you've skipped a sentence which begins with, if killing the innocent.
I was trying to get through the document just to the main parts that I had wanted the witness to, but I will read the whole thing.
Thank you.
The article says, if killing the innocent can be overlooked for a religious leader, the questions that his supporters have to answer are what kind of religion the leader is preaching and what the future would be like if he really became a leader. It goes on, he was sentenced to death, suspended for 2 years for the crimes on January 23, 2003 in Sichuan, with the penalty commuted to life imprisonment 2 years later. His trial was conducted according to Chinese laws. He was convicted of the bombings and splitting the state. Before entering his cell, he was diagnosed with high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, and other illnesses. Do you remember reading that?
Kirangi Dillo or Tingidwe. Do I need to translate? I didn't hear properly.
I'm reading from the article that appears in the Tibet Watch report, and I'd like you to comment either whether you remember reading this or hearing about this?
Nye tanda Tibet watch na TU Tiwa the law the tingi to it.
I'm sorry, are you going to continue? Are you going,
Would you like me to?
I would certainly.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't, I will.
Yes, okay, I will read it.
Is it being
Which-
translated?
It has,
It's in English.
it's in English, Your
Right,
Honor.
but is it being translated so she can hear what it is, or can she understand
She
it?
understands.
Can I just ask you, Ms. Neiman Lamo, can you understand the passages that I'm reading to you?
Yes.
Okay, I will continue to read from where I read before. Let me know if you do not hear me by raising your hand, okay? If killing the innocent can be overlooked for a religious leader, the questions that his supporters have to answer are what kind of religious leader, what kind of religion the leader is preaching, and what the future would be like if he really became a leader. He was sentenced to death, suspended for 2 years for the 2 crimes on January 23, 2003 in Sichuan, with a penalty commuted to life imprisonment of 2 years later. His trial was conducted in accordance with Chinese laws. He was convicted of the bombings and splitting the state. Before entering his cell, he was diagnosed with high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, and other illnesses. So do you remember reading or hearing about this news?
Oh, no.
Yes, I do.
All right, now I'll continue. The article goes on to say, according to Chinese laws, only criminals sentenced to a set term are entitled to medical parole. Tenzin Dalik, a lifer, was not entitled to medical parole. Do you remember reading or hearing about that?
Yes.
And then I continue. Despite this, the prison sent him 14 times for checkups and treatment to the county hospital in Dazhu and once to the centre hospital, Dazhu City. Doctors from local hospitals consulted about his condition 10 times, but he refused treatment or to take medicine. His health was not stable. The authorities tried in vain to save him when a guard discovered him suffering from respiratory failure at 14:35 on July 12. Do you remember reading or hearing about that?
Yes.
And then it says, Tenzin Dalik's pseudo-identity as a religious leader does not make him any different from others. Instead of mourning his death, it is the innocent people killed and badly injured in the bombings he planned and his blindness and deafness to realities that are more worthwhile to lament for the human rights guardians while reviewing his life. Do you remember reading or hearing about that?
Oh, yes.
And what are your thoughts about what the Chinese government has spread about your uncle?
Kirangi Ashang Gola Tana Yana Shungi Kepta Chewa Jura, Digana Kirangi Samzu Kariyu.
Jana Jun Chada Zocha, some of the Zanazan Jani, the Butcher, like on that cherry. And the pain is Hamadan is the Josa and Mom, the Shubi.
All the news spread by the Chinese government is totally fabricated and the fake. That's the reason that in 2013 people have been appealing for and requesting for the higher appeal to the higher authorization.
All right. Now, since you have, you made earlier statements that after you were released from custody, you were prohibited from visiting your uncle's monastery. Can you tell the court about that, please?
Kirang Ludi Shisavi ni Kirang Ashangi Gombala, Joella Kirang Kaptum Chiwarawa, Kirang Yama de Disung, the Digo Latisung Rochi.
I think Bomba was Manchester, Bomba, what are actually Jacob Amawa,
Konisunda, can you please repeat? We want to go to his monastery, but we are not allowed to go to his monastery and as well as his own room where he stay. So they restricted us to enter there.
Okay. Now, when did you leave Tibet, and what prompted you to make the decision to flee?
Kirang 캐나니 뭐 표현에서 가둘래 바이 디다 아니 레고에기 소와단 김센로디 가르치기 그래.
그래서 아마 이분 주주가 이제 나한테 좀 내기 아무래도 이제 센터보다 너무 치가 그거지 아까 뭐네 나만 책임지라 그냥 좀 많이 가요. 나도 사소리에 제마시 그래 많이 가요. 여기 하면 또서 좀 많이 생각을 많이 못해요. 쇼를 나만 많이나 이 코스가 계속이나서 뭐 주제로 간다 말로는 이제 저거 있습니다. मतलब ये आता है तो चित्र में ये फंक्शन जरूर तो जैसा कि से बात ये जैसे हमारा काले काले जो जीवन शिवा नाशी चीने तीन ये करते हैं
I fled from Tibet on July 20, 2016. The reason why I fled is like Rinpoche was falsely accused by the Chinese government, which is unbearable. And I made to the dead body of Rinpoche that I promise I will reveal the truth to the world. And by keeping that promise in mind, I came out to reveal and to the world what happened to the Rinpoche, and I will always work on it unless he will get the truth and he will get the justice for justice.
Thank you for that. Now, since you've been overseas, residing overseas, have you had any difficulties contacting your family who still reside in Tibet?
Ta kiran tingsa chige la shugi yudu gala kiran nangmi la dewa che gi kali duwe.
ये चाचा लगता है जॉन्ट ने चाचा लगता है देवो अनेक खाओ ये नाम जो चलते हैं ना करें
Yes, actually nowadays internet is very easy to access, but for me it's very difficult to contact my family.
Why is it difficult for you to contact your family? What are the obstacles?
가리치니 낭밀라 dewa che kabudu parje kalidu.
그 사람 제가 언제가 제사 예
Sorry, does something need to be translated?
No, generally, I'm sorry.
지난주는 여자에서 얘기하고 얘가 그래
Just take your time, Ms. Nimalamo.
Sorry, that's English so bad. It's easy for to connect to anybody, but it's hard for my family.
All right, just take your time. Take a deep breath. How has it been hard for your family?
간데스 가리 카부두 kiran nangmi dewa che la.
얘가 너무 좋아진다. 그래서 오늘 시간 내내 얘기를 좋아졌다.
If I try to contact my family, they have risks to their life. That's why I'm unable to contact my family.
Okay. Now, since you are residing overseas, are you aware of any surveillance or monitoring of you by the Chinese government?
kiran tingsa chige la shugi yudu gala thande neta la gyana shungi kiran la tu kiran gi klega khari chi me kiran gyablo la tu staya da dende chigi du yo kiran ha gu yube chigi yume.
니도 왜 아마도 미국 같은 세도 처럼 나는 좋아다 무치에는 가는 조용히 보나 레미스네 근데 그래서 가르치는구나 네 유지에 고소 가르치는구나 그 문제에 한번 뛰어맞추와 사자 말세 또 좋아 가르쳐야 또 나 가는 조리 내주는 뭐 시에 看这么这个现在或者这个那个这个那个那个或者或者那线上呢这个嘛的或者咱们的那个这个的头绪不差的差不多的那个就是来干的那或者你也做的就是当的那个你忙过了所以看见了搜索了中啊你是把中啊那实际的刚起了几多钱嘛的但是呢如果起了不要的正当性你这个项目不得你看等于按照了那只要肯定接应的然后我们只要接应的跟上咱们的些忙过了所以你看见了或是给出来一些的或是咱们这个答应了或是那个到底这个而且也参考的是
키랑기 아마단 수심바래. In 2002, my mother and my brother was detained, and they asked about
22.
okay. In 2022, my mother and my brother was detained, and they questioned them regarding my fleet, how I escaped from Tibet, and they have been saying that your daughter is like an obstacle for us. She is a threat for our country. That's why you should not contact her. Since she is your daughter, definitely she will going to contact you. But you must be careful whatever you say, because we have spy all over the world. And if you say something which could be harmful to our country, your life will be on risk, and we won't be take responsibility for that.
How did you become aware of this news that in 2022 your mother and brother were detained and these things were told to them?
키랑기 이동 예상이 로라 키랑 아말라다 조조 진송치와다 덴젤 라인 바 키랑기 간제 하고서 when they detained, I heard through one of the police. But I'm not allowed to say the name of that police, so I won't say.
Okay. The police that you heard this from, is he or she a police person who is inside Tibet?
Yes, it is.
And how did this police person communicate with you about this news?
Nizu didan TV ani ndoba di kiran la jawa khandes chisong. Since my mother and brother was detained for 15 days and I didn't heard from them for 15 days, so I was worried and I tried to contact for a few months. My brother and the mother was detained for a few months, so since I didn't heard from them for a few months, I tried to contact through someone in Tibet, and so I asked them what the police are talking about, what is the news, and I get to know through it.
All right.
Even after their release, I first talked with my mom. She even afraid to share those information, and I said, "Why you just there for 3 months?" And she told me I was sick. So because of that, I don't have any information like 3 months.
All right. Have you had any further updates about your family since that time?
Tizu deni suni kiran pamako amakor la ni nizu shimbadende hakosna DJ la.
DJ가 전략을 하잖아요. 이나 이모 아무도 그것도 그래서 자나를 준비되거나 예도 그냥 그러면 나는 이 아무 니도 치료가 있어요. 이 시대 치료가 자나로라 나는 진행을 되게 하는 분들을 따오는데 이것도 예도 그냥 그거네 이제 공부를 좀 마치 야채에서 배워.
Not after that, but before that, in 2021, when my mom needs to go to hospital in the Chitung for the test, but the Chinese government didn't allow her to go. But on the second time, they allowed police, and then let her come back.
Now, when you left Tibet, right? Your daughter.
No, I can't. Since I left Tibet, I never talked to my daughter and even all my relatives, including my brother and sister, only my mom.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Nima Lamo. Your Honours, that concludes my evidence. This witness evidence in chief. Now hand the floor to my learned friend for cross-examination.
Let me ask you a question before you. You show me the document that was posted by the county that she testified about. Does she have that document?
She has its record and the document that is on.
It's within it. So, okay. So she'll refer to that, she'll know what that is. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Sorry, excuse me. Pardon me. Ms. Lamo, I'm not sure what the time is where you are, but good day.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Arshak. I'm an attorney. I'm representing the interests of Xi Jinping on the defense side in this confirmation hearing. The prosecution is done asking you some questions, and it's my turn to ask you some questions. Most of my questions, I'm hopeful, can be answered with short answers, but if you need to explain, you tell us you need to explain, and we'll hear you out. Is that okay?
Sure.
Good. So, I listened carefully to your testimony, and I think we were all moved by the difficult issues that you've had to face in your life. The first one of which relates to your uncle, who you knew as a child. Is that correct?
Yes, very listen.
Tambo?
Oh, I thought you said yes. No?
Sorry, what's the one I didn't understand?
You only knew your uncle as a child,
Right.
when you were a child, correct?
Kirampu Chinjin becomes a Kirangi Asang Moshigurwa.
Yes, of course.
The last time you saw him was in 2002, 22 years ago.
Kirangi Kong Tamadi Nidongi Lola Tongra, Chena Lo Nisangi Yela.
The last time I saw when he was cast in 2015.
Where did you see him in 2015?
In this Tendulita prison.
You visited him there.
Yes.
I see. And the authorities permitted you to visit him there.
Now, at the first time, all the state allowed only 15 in prison, but I was trying very hardly to go from Lipang to Chengdu, because during the time they blocked all the road highway from Lipang to Chengdu, so people didn't allow to go to visit the village body. But I was trying to be like motorcycle to Fernley, safe to across the border. They have 3 borders from Lipang to Chengdu. So I'm trying to very hardly to get to see my uncle's body.
So
Yeah, family, I got the permissions. Yes.
that I understand. But am I correct, though, that the last time you saw him alive was 22 years ago?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was confused.
All right. No, I should have been clearer. My
Right.
apologies. As a young child, up until the age of 12, you spent time with your uncle? Yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
You have to give verbal answers.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you observed him, and because it was explained to you as a child, the kind of work that he was involved in. Is that correct?
sorry, can you
콩 콩기 레가 시교조라 디코라 키랑기 소소 유니 통와타 다나 신기 심박 유니 고아 띵니기 유니아니 키랑기 하고 와라.
louder?
Yes.
In fact, you describe him as your teacher, and that he taught you how to be a true Tibetan Buddhist.
Right,
And those are teachings that you hold dear to you even today.
right.
So when you heard that he had been charged with bombing and inciting your cousin to place a bomb, you did not believe that.
Yes,
And you didn't believe it because your understanding of him and who he was not consistent with somebody who would do that. Is that correct?
yes, right.
Understood.
Yes.
I understand. No, we haven't really spoken about your cousin Labsing Damdup. Was he close to you as well as a child, when you were a child?
He's not really close to me, but I saw few times because we are living in different places, that's why.
All right. Part of your family, but not a close member of your family.
Right, right.
And he was somebody that your uncle spoke to and was a teacher to as well. Is that correct?
He's a relative, and he's also kind of teacher because he divorced it because of that. He don't have place to go, and he stayed sometimes with the and goes near the temple. I
Okay,
think, yes, I heard that story from my mom.
right. So you were not present during the conversations that your uncle may have had with Labsang, were you?
Sorry, you can listen.
So,
Can you please repeat?
yeah, of course. Were you present when your uncle and Labsang were speaking to each other?
키랑
Kiran,
키랑 아샹다 로산도 루니 계제셰베 값을 키랑 유베 잠라스. 키랑 냠도 유베. No, I wasn't.
So you have no knowledge of what the conversations were that occurred between your uncle and Labsang.
Since Uncle meets so many people in his day-to-day life, so certainly I won't know what he's talk with each other.
Thank you. I'd like to turn our attention to prosecution exhibit NSE 2, page 87. Well, let me do this in order. Page 80 is first. You remember the picture of your mother holding a document with her thumbprint on it? You're familiar with that? And this is,
Yes.
for the rest of us, this is NSA 2, page 80. That document was something that your mother had prepared and wanted to give to the authorities. Is that right?
The first thing the authority asked me, do your family, as a family, do you have any requests to say? So we write down the request and we submit it. Yes.
Understand. And part of what she wanted during her 5-point appeal was to understand how it was that that your uncle died, and why he was in prison, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But that was on July 15th, and on that same day, printed in the newspaper were answers to all those questions, right? The answers that going to give to you were actually printed on the same day. And that's the newspaper article that was just read to you and that you are familiar with, correct?
Right.
All right. So you now know, and you knew then, on that same day, what the Chinese answer was to the questions that you wanted answers to, correct?
I'm sorry, I know the days we request, but I don't know these requests are being in the news, because I don't know all the news about social media, everything, because we don't have media in Chinese.
I completely understand that. So you didn't read that in the newspaper on the same day, but you read it at some later point.
No, I'm sorry. My point is, I sharing those pictures to my uncle, and I know the days we request, we send it, but I don't know on the same day that these are on the news.
Understand. I think we're saying the same thing. So you came to understand what the Chinese response was to your questions. Is that correct? Yes? Yeah, okay. Now, if we could scroll on to NSE 2, page 87. You have had, I'm sorry, we're going to go to page 86. You've had a chance to look at the interview with you that was in Tibet Watch in 2016 that included a picture of the document that has 7 forbidden activities. Do you know the document that I'm referring to? Do you have that in front of you? Do you have that with you?
Yes, I have, it's with my phone.
Oh, good.
My phone.
Can you look at it while we're speaking so I can refer to it? Thank you.
It's here.
This is on, for everybody else, this is on
Right?
page 8. That's the one. Yes,
Yes.
perfect. This is on page 86 of the prosecution NSE 2. Can you tell me, please, where Xi Jinping's name appears on that document? Can you look at that document and tell me where his name appears, please?
The one that I showed you, right?
Yeah, well, just tell me where it says Xi Jinping on that document.
Pardon.
Your Honor, the witness is never given evidence that Xi Jinping.
I completely understand that. That's not my question.
But the question should probably be framed as, does.
Well, I could frame the question any number of ways. This is my examination. Thank you.
It's just confusing.
Thank you very much.
习近平有这个干嘛带到那儿吧？
Are you referring that, show me the document where Xi Jinping name is there? Are you referring to that document?
I'm referring to the document that you're looking at. Does Xi Jinping's name appear on that document?
기랑이 단다다 심이 익자드 나올라 Xi Jinping 기 민두에 라니 디레. Xi Jinping 라니 민두에. No.
Thank you. And does the government of China, does the name government of China appear on that document?
Yes.
Yes. It appears at the top of that document, and what it says is the People's Government of Lithang County. Am I correct about that?
Document of Litang County
Example, Litang County yugi document tigi kodela tanda yana shunglan tidwa lare. Yes.
Yeah, is there any place in that document that explains that that Xi Jinping has ordered the 7 forbidden activities? Does it say that Xi Jinping orders these 7 forbidden activities? Does it say that?
If I could just make, if I could just object to this, this document have access to this
So
document.
this
It's
document?
accepted.
I didn't follow that. This document
This
what?
document has been filed
Yeah.
and your honors have access to it. It is accepted that Xi Jinping's.
I'm sorry, I don't want her to testify for this witness. She elicited, and the relationship that Xi Jinping has to this document, I'm entitled to cross-examine on this. That's what I'm doing.
Well, your honor, it's on the face of the record. If
What's not on the face of the record is how the answers that you elicited on cross-examination appear on this document. That's what I'm doing.
Right, I'm not sure.
maybe Sambala,
Just one minute.
What do you say?
Wait, the question is there a ruling? I mean, she's objecting to the question, just to make sure if you're not hearing.
Okay. What do you say?
Well, I mean, let him proceed to examine the witness as he wishes. but
You
not-
proceed, yes. I think that if you need to redirect, you can do that later.
Thank you. I'll move along, Judge. At the bottom of this document, there are 7 forbidden activities noted, correct? Does it say at the beginning or at the end or any other place in this document that Xi Jinping forbids those 7 activities?
이제되기 고도 주 강론라요라 시진핑기 디 가동 뒤인디 지발레라니 딘데 통해도에
tena vi 통화에 이런 말에 난 지금 좋아요 이런 말에 내가 딱 방금 중요한 말이야. 땡이 쌍이 되는 거는
yeah you there isn't like you can't see it you can hear it but these are the indirectly command by the center. That's why I'm referring to Xi Jinping.
I understand. And I asked you a question, you gave me an answer. Thank you. So you understand that indirectly. I note that this is issued by Lithang County People's Government, correct?
디 이제디 단다 리당 코랑기 사규기 종지라 디기 슝비기 마 잠교임바 잠교 레벨은 기저디
第一项是在中南的高档的卫生的高档的了，中南的高档的了，或者两个钱的，或者农民的了，大家讲比较当地，你都把我什么产品的，给你的是啦，么产品的，或者掏钱嘛，或者两个钱的，高档卫生的了。
Yes, this document was ordered by the central government because when they published this document, the public protest to the police, like they said, like you police are shameless, and they said that we have nothing to do with it. It is like a command from the center.
Do you know how many counties there are in China?
Yana nanglola tanda shung kurang zongi shung yora. Dende kyundam kazuyo me kirang kengi yuwe.
maybe call a whole
Sorry, I didn't study about it.
If I told you there are 2,851 county divisions in China, would you agree with me?
Yeah.
And if I told you that every single one of those divisions are authorized to issue their own notices, would you agree with me?
kunzo tanda digam yoro zongbying ni donggi hingam jungwaji di changmala soso gi ijak tamegi topdang yore di kirangi kelingi yuesa kunzo.
I think she understood.
Regarding to other cases, I believe it's true, But with the Rinpoche's cases, I don't think so, because his cases went till the center and is directly ordered by the center. The people went to Tongjing to appeal regarding his death. So that's why in this case, I don't think this is given by the county government.
That's your belief. Is that correct?
Something you have to learn.
Not believe, but my experiences.
It's your feeling, all right.
Kirangi sawar. But I have
may have
experience.
misheard her. What did she say?
This could be your feelings, but for me, experiences.
All right, but it's not what the document says, is that right?
İcana liyo marwa. İcana ki kü. I believe that in all over the world, or any sort of documented, there isn't any sort of documented will which is directly given by the president or the name of the president. So please concern about this.
Thank you. I'm just going to return for a moment, I'm almost done. I'm going to return for a moment to the newspaper article that was read to you by the prosecution, in which it describes the fact that a trial took place before your uncle was convicted of inciting your cousin to plant bombs. Were you present for that trial? Did you go to the trial?
Kira asang shudu machingela. Kenswe. Asang shudu machingela kunzogi tanda timship ti choyo redik or timship di nanglo kira dugyu chungswe.
So if I could just make a comment here, I think the.
It's not.
the
Do
question
you
that
have
she
an
is
objection?
directed
Sorry, what's
to
your
that-
objection again?
The objection, Your Honour, is that there's an assumption that the witness accepts that a trial occurred.
No. She can answer yes or no. And if you want to ask her that question, you're free to. Thank you very much.
Look, she was asked whether she attended the trial, right?
I asked whether she attended the trial that's described in the newspaper article.
Right, okay.
And that's predicated upon a presumption.
It has no presumption. There's a trial,
There was a
Look,
trial.
either she attended the trial or she didn't.
Well, she should be asked if she was aware whether there was a trial, and her answer could be
Oh.
the answer could be anything. Let's get the answer.
yes. But
Thank you.
let's get it in an order where.
Judge, can we go forward with the question?
If you have any problems, you can sort it out under redirect, wouldn't you?
Your Honor, I think the issue is that this issue cannot be
Oh,
solved.
This is not an appropriate procedure. This is speaking out of turn.
It's designed to be a misleading question that will evoke an answer that, whether it's yes or no, will imply into evidence that a trial existed, and that is an error that cannot be
I really
rectified.
must object. Once again, the prosecution, in his speaking objection, gives potential information to a witness which is inappropriate. He has now infected these proceedings.
Your Honor, I'm not
Shouldn't-
giving any information
He
to
has
the witness.
infected these proceedings.
She's listening to the whole thing here.
I have not given
No information,
I'm just
please.
saying, logically.
Oh, please.
Hold on, well, let's proceed, because the issue really is, did she know whether there was a trial of her own knowledge?
Well, that is a question that could be asked. It's not the question that I'm asking. May I repeat my question?
I mean, she doesn't know whether there was a trial or not.
Well, we don't. Did you read the newspaper article that described that there was a trial at which your uncle was convicted?
Kira asang la tanda nangye sugyo tida di tola shudu chewaji sakpan na kyo ba kirangi lo imbe sakbardi.
Did you read that article?
Yes, I read.
And if there was such a trial, did you attend it?
Well, if there wasn't such a trial, how could she?
Well, then, that's a fair question for somebody else to ask, Judge. It's not the one I'm asking. If there was such a trial, as was reported in the newspaper, did you attend it?
If there wasn't such a trial, could she attend it?
That's exactly right, Judge.
Yes, eh?
But that's not my question. Thank you.
To your knowledge, was there such a trial?
That's another question that we could ask, Judge. It's not the question I'm asking. You may have a presumption, Judge.
Check the witness.
Judge, you may have a presumption, one way or the
No
other.
presumption,
I'm asking this witness,
You are trying to mislead the witness.
I had in the newspaper, did you attend it?
But listen, if she says, I did not attend it, would you take that as an admission that that there was a trial?
No, Judge.
No, all right.
No.
As long as you make it quite clear that the fact that she attended no trial doesn't mean.
I don't know if that's a fact, Judge. We haven't let this woman answer the question.
No, she will answer it just now, but I want to understand what you mean by the question. Because if there wasn't a trial, she couldn't attend it, so I don't know what you mean.
You don't know what I mean when I say if there was a trial
Yes.
that was reported in the newspaper, did you attend it?
No.
Let me ask a different
There are
question.
two questions.
Judge, please, let me ask.
There was a trial reported in the newspaper. The first question is, to her knowledge, was there a trial?
No, that's not the first question, Judge.
Yes.
Right. So I saw in the newspaper just a few days ago that in the state of New York, there was a county fair. Did you attend that county fair? I'm asking you, did you attend the county fair in New York that occurred several days ago?
So is this question directed at the witness? Because it may be quite confusing for her now.
The question is not Judge.
Is that question for me?
No, that was for you, of course. I'm asking you that the newspapers in New York reported that there was a county fair in New York several days ago. And I'm asking you, did you attend that fair? No. Now I'm asking you, the newspaper in China reported that there was a trial at which your uncle was convicted. Did you attend that was reported in the newspaper?
걔랑 단다디 착반나를 교교스도 걔랑 아샹기 슈둑다 슈둑기 직차리라니 착반나 교도 디 슈둑데라 걔랑 조회 중송에
I think we should be very good at that.
슈둑레고 착반나 교시기
What was it?
she asking is that the regarding the trail regarding his uncle trail which regarding his uncle
The
trial.
she tried regarding his uncle
regarding the trial.
근데 like 걔랑 치인베라니 기저티도
I think we should, to take on to the consider that.
나와라 근데 착반나 교시야 교조라디
사방 갈 때는 하고 말해. 야를 제가 저기 거스는 맞을 거나 단정 맞을 줄 맞을 자리들로 파스에 이까지 오늘 좀 프로젝트에 거 맞아. 미스티 타는 나마티나 아마도 좀 말해.
I am not allowed to go anywhere. Not only me, even my mom was not allowed to go. We are restricted to go anywhere.
I understand that. I do understand that, and I appreciate that. In 2000, between 2002, when your uncle was arrested, and 2015, when he passed away, while you were still there, were you permitted to go various places?
이동 니네 정화 아시안 정회 급수 아니 기랑 조초구리 회사야마. Yeah, I'm permitted to go inside the Tibet, within the Tibet itself.
Understood. And during that period of time, did you ever attend any trial related to your uncle?
to you di ring la ni kira ashang gi shuduk da David then they shuduk kangrun la kira dwe chung song.
我不清楚。
Yes, I did many times.
Well, Judge, does that answer your question?
It does.
Thank you. And perhaps it answers the prosecution's question as well. Where was the first trial that you attended?
Kira shuduk la gorda shuduk thangbu di kira khawal chimbai shuduk la do ha guda.
他不说，那成都的这里，成都的阿玛达、阿美达，咱的我们今年的也，他们成都成都的这里，这是呢，你阿山都干出，你阿山的历史，历史嘛，然后的记录了啥？
Gang di shu-
情况，
Okay. The first time I went to the Tintu to meet my uncle, but I guess she's confused with the trial and to the court trial.
他那个他那个。
Tanda di lao team ki shuduk chi wa tanda ngazu tanda de du do tanda de la che kyo do kira ashang di la de cha yu me
咱们国会这个这个嘛，咱们国会这个这个嘛，情况对。
no we are not trial actually I'm not allowed to go any trial. So what I mean
Yes.
before like she referring to the meet the uncle.
No, I mean, you know, since he arrested the judge, the government, they judge, 就看看情况看这个用户他的业家的，因为是没有就是国会偏偏了这个嘛，这方面对，try
Trial che che maris
啊国会这样这个嘛，他是用户他是这家的，肯定是国会这样这个嘛。
after it's decided from the central or the government after that she's not the Muj is not giving any trial.
Your Honor,
Are you objecting to what I haven't said yet?
I'm not objecting. Can you just have the translator just clarify, because it wasn't clear what she said she had attended earlier,
Yes.
because his translation didn't come through clearly.
Yes.
It's not clear whether she attended a trial or she went somewhere else.
Understand.
당기 슈두라 직 망부 조이 라인 봐. 디 컬러 조이 라인.
这成都公的政策，情况。
팀강 조라라.
成都的正康的闻到了是立体上的。
I don't mean the trial, but I went to the prison in order to appeal in the Chitung province.
An appeal, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to protest and appeal against the
She went to the prison.
prison. Yeah.
What, I'm hearing two different things. Did she say I went to the prison, or did she say she went to the court to appeal?
No, not court, not prison. To
Prison.
prison in
To the
Chitung.
prison.
In Chitung,
Okay,
yes.
We thought you said that there were several trials that you attended. Did you mean that to be what you said, what we thought you said?
Sorry,
let me-
I don't understand what is meaning of trial, that's why I think that we misunderstand. And I just said, I want the request to kill the Russian case for any time, even to Chengdu Central Prison, and also some of the official office. And, you know, since the Russian case, given by the central government, during the 13 years, many people request to go to high super court, super people's court. And people requested to Russian accept this if he did something criminal. But the Chinese government denied every request. And we didn't get any trial for not only me, everybody about the Russian case.
So I think you're telling us now that you did not attend any trial related to your uncle.
Yes, we didn't get any trial.
You-
It is my uncle.
And you weren't permitted to attend any trial. Is that correct?
Sorry,
촉지.
can you translate this, please?
그러나 조치에게 촉지 요 말이 와는.
요 말이国会这个말이.
They didn't give us an opportunity.
We didn't give us
Opportunity.
the opportunity. I understand. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Can I just?
I'm done. Yeah.
Correct, redirect.
Redirect.
I do have one question. What is your present understanding of the word trial?
단다 기랑이 트라이얼도 갈라 식디 고도 가리 레바나 가리 거리.
Then also chamber was like this.
팀가나시 like a law and order tribunal like this.
Are you aware whether there was any trial for your uncle before he was sentenced?
공을 팀다 마징라 니도 단다 팀가나시 trial 인데 차 유메키라
那么请问这样是一个你跟这个你跟你有这个知道你跟上我是这个对面是这个这边这样是刚才那个是一个现在的路是有嘛的，咱们从他的接下来他们现在接的如果去凑钱从他们他接下来他们中国的那个接受了这个
你懂耶路
他们如果去的也就是要放这个嘛。
你懂耶路 In 2008, one trial was happened, but not like these. The judges are from the central, and no one was allowed to talk. Rinpoche doesn't have any chances to talk and say any words in that trial. It's not like this.
When was this?
Sorry.
When was this?
You don't get it, 2008, right? It was in 2000.
2003.
It was in 2003. Sorry.
2003. So you say there was a trial in 2003.
Chena kirangi ni dong sum lo la dende to timduk ji chung yo kirangi di lagi yuwe.
那我根据那个如果是他们的什么培训单位里头的健康直接跟那时候的有嘛？
I'm not sure, but after his detention, after 2 months, there was a sort of trial.
You think there was a trial, but you're not sure.
Kirangi samgi doa ne kirang tende mewe
根据那个还是你跟我。
trial chung wala wada.
Take a vote on that?
Kirangi tanda di timduk chung yo wa tende imbe gi kirangi samzui tende timduk ji chung yo wa.
监督的那个你上次监督接各个接了这个嘛的啥？然后那个监督接各个接了这个嘛的，健康我们进这个的，反正这个人人他从业前年他接，他从的才能做下来的，然后那个各个接了这个嘛的，如果全部是难得搞的。
There was sort of trial where no family member was allowed to say anything and allowed to go. Rinpoche was just was there in sort of trial, and everything was decided by the judge from the center.
Does he arrest?
Trial is. Nothing for me.
Nothing for me.
I think Judge that resolves the issue, eh?
Did you say something?
지난직 소리 맺는다.
Okay.
I just said since he arrested, we didn't get any chance to go to tell by the family or any relative or his student members because during 13 years he decided to go high court or tell anything possible to get till like his case to appeal. But since the Chinese government decided everything, we don't have this power.
I see that my learned friend has taken the podium again. Cross-examination is over.
I apologize. I thought she was answering my question about whether there was a trial and whether she went.
I was answering the judge's question.
She,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think the witness can be excused, right?
right, yeah.
Yes, let's go ahead. Witness, I think we've concluded the testimony and the witness can be excused. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
냠슌용 도지체.
Your
You have
Honour,
one more witness, do
I do
you?
have another witness, but if the
I
court
wouldn't be having
requires a
that.
break,
That's okay,
it
yes,
should be a suitable time. It is 4:38.
One more.
And I understand you have, tomorrow is overfull because we have the Sophie Richardson testifying on the Tibet matter, correct?
Tomorrow is the beginning of the Shin Jane case, but Sophie Richardson will be inserted out of order because of her availability. She was only available on Thursday, and so she is part of the Tibet case, but after the witness this afternoon, the Shin Jane case will begin.
We're just concerned that we could, knowing that all the witnesses have taken longer than anticipated, how long do you think this witness will take? And if we take too long a break, we'll be here till after 7 o'clock tonight.
Your Honor, the time allocation for the next witness, who is an expert witness, is 1.5 hours, and I'll do my very best to keep her evidence to 1 hour with half an hour of cross-examination.
All right, but fill the full day,
Mm.
so we have to complete it. So I think we skip the break and we go right to this witness. Okay, well, 5-minute break then.
Your Honor, I do apologize. I need a break.
Yeah, I certainly need a break. All right.
And I promise you, after having no discussion with my opponent, Mr. Reese, that we will be brisk.
Okay.
All right.
All rise, please. Overriding.